When the President of the United States of America has to preface his alleged support of the Second Amendment with the words,
"It's going to sound bizarre, I support the Second Amendment."
I know this might sound bizarre. Clearly, no one believes that he supports the Second Amendment. Joe Biden saying he supports the Second Amendment is like Will Smith saying he supports G.I. Jane jokes about his wife. Biden, someone who supports the Second Amendment, doesn't spend his entire career bragging about passing a gun control law that once banned the most popular semi-automatic rifle in the country.
I'm the guy that led the effort to get an assault weapons ban, as well as a limitation of the number of bullets that could be in a magazine.
Someone who supports the Second Amendment doesn't try to repeal a law that was specifically passed to protect the gun industry from people filing frivolous lawsuits in an attempt to bankrupt the entire industry.
We need to repeal the liability shield of gun manufacturers and finally hold them accountable.
Someone who supports the Second Amendment doesn't admit to wanting to confiscate people's guns.
To gun owners out there who say, well, a Biden administration means they're going to come for my guns.
Bingo. You're right if you have an assault weapon. The fact of the matter is they should be illegal, period.
Someone who supports the Second Amendment doesn't threaten to come after the largest Second Amendment organization and the entire gun industry.
If I'm elected and I'm coming for you and gun manufacturers, I'm going to take you on and I'm going to beat you. I'm the only one who's done it.
Long story short, Joe Biden supports the Second Amendment about as much as my mom would support my desire to become a male stripper.
But from the very beginning, the Second Amendment didn't say you can own any gun you want, as big as you want. You couldn't buy a cannon when, in fact, the Second Amendment passed.
Yes, you could own a cannon, and you still can now. I don't know why Joe Biden keeps repeating this stupid statement, especially considering how many times it has been fact-checked as false, and he still keeps saying it. When the Second Amendment was passed, there were no federal laws about the type of gun you could own, and no states limited the kind of gun you could own. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of our Constitution gives Congress the power to grant letters of marque and reprisal, which were special waivers that allowed private individuals to act as pirates on behalf of the U.S. against countries engaged in war with it. Individuals who were given these waivers and owned warships obviously also obtained cannons for use in battle. The Second Amendment wasn't written to tell us what we can and can't own. It was written to tell you, i.e. the government, what you can't infringe on, i.e. the right to keep and bear arms. It literally says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed in the damn amendment. This isn't about us. This is about you, and the Second Amendment didn't say you can ban us from owning certain guns because you think we shouldn't have them. When the Second Amendment was passed, the citizens had access to the most modern rifles available at the time. And right now, AR-15s are the most modern semi-automatic rifles in our time. The Founding Fathers wrote the damn amendment because they wanted us to be able to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. Why the hell would they write the Second Amendment and then limit the people to old, outdated arms? I'll tell you why. Because they didn't. Joe Biden thinks the Second Amendment is only about hunting. And when you think the Second Amendment is only about hunting, you say stupid shit like this.
Southern Delaware do a lot of hunting and fishing down there. And I was walking up one of the creek beds. And the guy standing there said, "You want to take my gun?" I said, "No, I'll take your gun." He said, "Well, you're telling me I can't have more than X number of bullets in my gun." And I said, "What do you think, the deer you're hunting or wear Kevlar vests? What the hell you need 20 bullets for? You must be a hell of a terrible shot."
Joe Biden has been making this stupid cannon argument for years, and every year it gets debunked, and he still keeps saying it. The reason he does this is because he knows the people who are not versed on the Second Amendment will believe what he is saying is true. And that's why it's important to share and spread videos like this one with as many people as you can. The Second Amendment doesn't give the right to keep and bear arms. It protects it as a natural right. So at the end of the day, we are the ones responsible for allowing this right to be infringed. But the more people who know the truth about the Second Amendment, the better protected the Second Amendment will be. Speaking of cannons, the shirt I'm wearing is the original design on the flag flown at the Battle of Gonzales, where a small group of Texans successfully resisted forces who were ordered to seize their cannon. So, I think it only appropriate that you click the link in the description or head over to shop.mrcolionnoir.com and pick up this shirt to let Joe Biden know how we feel about his so-called "you can't own a cannon" argument. You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments before, during, and even days after having to use your gun in self-defense? When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be a very scary and nerve-wracking experience, especially if you haven't gotten the education and training you need to feel confident. I've been there myself, hoping I never have to go through a self-defense shooting, which is why I'm a member of the USCCA. As a USCCA member, you can eliminate some of the stress of carrying a gun for protection by accessing the amazing wealth of firearm education, training, and current state-specific gun laws of your state or states you may travel to. This can help you be prepared for, or hopefully even avoid, a self-defense incident. As a bonus, members automatically become insured on the self-defense liability insurance policy purchased by and issued to the USCCA. Click below to learn more. I'm sure the YouTube algorithm is going to do a phenomenal job of suppressing this message. So please share this video with as many people as you can so we can beat the algorithm and get our two-way message out to the masses. Also, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment, and hit the bell and subscribe button.